Hello everyone, this is My Two Cents. Welcome back to my channel. I'm sure many of you have been following the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, which has been on quite a bit of media coverage for the past couple of weeks, leading up to it and throughout. And there's a lot to say about it, but for the stream I'm hosting right now, there's one particular thing I want to focus on, and that is the fact that the prosecuting attorney attempted to attack Kyle Rittenhouse's right to remain silent. Now, for those of you who may not be aware, I'm sure most of you are, but Kyle Rittenhouse is the individual who was 17 years old at the time during the Kenosha riots, in which BLM Antifa types were protesting the death, or not the death, but the shooting of Jacob Blake by police. Kyle Rittenhouse, who lived in a nearby city, came to Kenosha with his AR-15 to help a local business clean up graffiti and then protect that business and other local businesses from rioters. He was violently attacked by several rioters and shot at least 3 of them in self-defense, and now is on trial for murder because the media and the political left wing are so dedicated to this idea that if a white male shoots anyone, it must be because they are a domestic you-know-what. But, and there's a lot to say about that. But what I wanted to talk about is the fact that in this clearly politically charged prosecution, where anyone who has seen the video of what happened, it is completely clear that Rittenhouse acted in self-defense. He was violently attacked and used his firearm to defend himself against against deadly force that otherwise may well have killed him or severely injured him. But the prosecuting attorney is doing everything he possibly can to spin this such that Rittenhouse was the one in the wrong, and he unprovoked went in and committed this violence. One of the things that the prosecuting attorney, Thomas Binger, tried to do is attack the fact that when he was first arrested by police or in police custody, Rittenhouse invoked his right to remain silent and retained a lawyer. And if prosecuting attorney Thomas Binger tried to claim in the course of this trial that somehow showed that Rittenhouse must be guilty, because if after all, if he was innocent, why wouldn't he talk to police? Now, the judge in this case, Bruce Schroeder, rightly called out this attorney, said it is first-year law. You do not attack a defendant's right to remain silent. That is one of the bedrocks of our Constitution, and it is. But I still find, especially among those that aren't familiar with legal cases, many people think, if you really were innocent, why wouldn't you talk to police? Why would you need to retain a lawyer if you were innocent? Only a guilty person would choose to remain silent. So really, the right to remain silent only protects the guilty from being prosecuted. But the problem is, anyone who is familiar with how our legal system is set up, and how really any legal system inevitably gets set up, is that legal codes are constructed such that a determined enough prosecutor, if they really want to, they can always find something to charge you with. It doesn't matter who you are, where you live, what you've done in your life, how hard you've tried to keep the law. Legal codes, federal and state, are so comprehensive and complicated, and in many cases vague, that if a prosecutor wants to, it doesn't matter if you did nothing but stay inside your house all day and talk to no one, a determined enough prosecutor can always find something to charge you with. And when you're being questioned by police, you can, whether you are innocent or not, depending on how they ask you questions, depending on how determined the prosecution is, by speaking to the police without an attorney present, without having an opportunity to think about what you're being questioned about, and all the other factors that go into the individual case, you can inadvertently end up confessing to something that they can then legally charge you for. So in order to protect the rights of the accused, innocent or not, if you are accused of something, even if you are entirely innocent, it is a good idea to, if you are being questioned by police, to remain silent until you get an attorney. And if nothing else proves this, for those that remember the accusations against General Michael Flynn back during the initial days of the Trump administration, where he was charged with lying to the FBI, investigation into that matter basically showed that General Flynn was set up. He was specifically asked questions with the intent of finding something he was guilty for, and although he ultimately wasn't charged with the crime they were investigating, they charged him with lying to the FBI, which of course or lying to law enforcement is a crime. And whether you misremembered, maliciously lied, I mean, those kind of things are harder to prove, but it just goes to show that if a law enforcement agency, if a prosecuting entity is determined enough and wants to send you to jail, they will always find a reason to do it. And if you answer their questions and you choose not to exercise your right to remain silent, you can, in fact, more than likely give them the ammunition they need, whether you're guilty or not. So anyone who is familiar with this case and thinks to themselves, I mean, isn't there some merit to what he says, that if you truly were innocent, wouldn't you want to talk to police? That's not the case. If you are innocent, you absolutely should support a person's right to remain silent and thereby protect themselves against malicious prosecution. There are a lot of more ridiculous things that go into this case that deserve discussion, but that is the one thing that stood out to me. This attorney should be disbarred. It's ridiculous, as many have suggested. It's ridiculous. But I mean, really nothing more to be said on that. The right to remain silent is an important right of all individuals, especially the innocent, not just the guilty. And that is my 2 cents. You can take it for what it's worth.